I want you to open your phone, open Instagram, and read the third DM.
If I stick to whiskey all night, I'm fine. If I have shots, 4 is my limit.
If y'all can't see my expression, my eyebrows are going up.
No, the boring boys are just like, not the married boys. The married boys
I like how you said it, Mr. Wedding Planner.
I'm a big fan of less is more. So I don't think long messages, big messages work.
Thanks, and this was nice. And would you like to go out for lunch?
Oh, you straight came to the point.
Yeah.
This is not subtle by any stretch of imagination.
Why not?
So he responded
Of course
back
we did.
and you guys went for lunch.
Yes, we did.
And the rest is history?
The rest is, yeah, let's say history.
Okay, that's another way to put it.
And I think people who are behind the screen also get validated in some way. Ki chalo, I'm on this person's close friend list.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah. Maybe I'm special. Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Gibberish.
I'm Vikram Mehta,
And I am Khushi Tella.
and you've tuned into a banter between a millennial and a Gen Z about all things love, dating, and relationships.
Let's talk gibberish.
Let's talk gibberish.
Before we dive into this episode, Vikram, I want you to open your phone, open Instagram, and read the third DM.
Okay.
Opens phone.
Can I open my second or third DM?
Why that hesitation, Vikram?
I mean, it's a pretty bland conversation, but
We're all ears.
yeah, it ends with her admission that if I stick to whiskey all night, I'm fine. If I have shots, 4 is my limit.
If y'all can't see my expression, my eyebrows are going up. Give us some more sauce. Are you going on a date? Why are y'all talking about alcohol?
The sauce I can give you is that I should have replied to her, and I just realized now that I've not replied back to this.
Oh, so now you've seen the message and she's going to
Yeah,
think that
exactly.
you've seen it, but you've not replied.
Exactly.
So what are you going to say to her?
So is this a big deal? Leaving someone on red? I mean, we do it all the time, right? On social media?
I do need like 3 to 4 business days to reply to somebody. And guys, if y'all haven't figured it out already, we're talking about all things social media with respect to love, dating, and relationships.
So, Khushi, we have established the fact that the world has got smaller with social media. Everyone has access to everyone, right?
Right.
Tell me your story. Like, have you ever dated someone where it took off from social media?
The relationship took off from social media. Being someone who's falls under the bracket of Gen Z, I should be saying yes to that, but the truth is no. But I have a number of people who don't give up. They're so consistent, with the way they're going to try new things with the pickup lines and the reels and all.
So, sliding into DMs, basically.
Sliding into my DMs. Yeah.
Do you have like a thumb rule? What do you allow? What you don't? Who do you respond to? Who you don't respond to?
They usually just get shifted to my request section unless I know them. And you might be knowing this concept of mutuals, right? Like first I'll go check whose account it is, and then I'm going to check my mutuals, and I'm going to ask my friend who this person is. Doesn't still mean that I'm going to reply, but I'm going to get my info, going to do my R&D, and then maybe see if I feel like replying or not. Also depends on what they're saying, yaar. 90% of the DMs are so creepy.
So as a woman, of
Huh.
course, in Gen Z, and it's going to be probably different from what I get in my DMs, but what is the craziest thing you've got on a DM?
Craziest? There was this one guy who asked me if I'm interested in marrying him. His diction was on point.
That was his opening line.
Yeah. He was to the point. He was like, let's cut the crap. Let me just get to the point. Like, bhai, tum bahut hi sundar ho. Mera dil aa gaya tum pe, this and that. And ye sab English mein tha. I'm
Yeah,
just making it a little
Okay.
more funny.
I was wondering about the diction, but okay.
No, I really can't match his
Confidence
expertise
level.
and his expertise. And then he said, considering the above as a premise, will you be interested in marrying me? And I was zapped.
It's a beautiful
It's like,
proposal.
wow. Why? Acha, wait. You know what? I'm just going to reply to him so that he can get in touch with you and then you can take
No,
the
you.
suggestion.
I have friends who actually play such
Your
situations.
friends or you, Vikram?
No, no, no.
I
Because
think.
again, it's
Mm,
something that happens a lot more to women than men. I
yeah,
think I
that's
think
right.
women are not that forthright in their DMs to us
Hmm.
as opposed to men when they slide into your DMs. But I do know someone, I have friends who probably play this guy for a bit, drag
Uh
this
huh.
conversation, just because they are having a good time
Yeah, sure.
messing with him, with his diction, as you say. But yeah, and what's the nicest you've got? Like maybe a DM that's led to something more. Has that ever happened? Or potentially leading to something more? Of course, it may have fizzled out, but come on, everyone has that, right? We are open to the idea of new people through social media. Most
um,
people are.
I think you're right. If somebody starts off a conversation relating to my work, maybe I'll consider replying. If they have probably been through my profile, they have reviewed my work and they have feedback, they have comments, maybe that is something that I would like to start off the conversation with. But if they directly go and tell me that I'm interested in you, I'm like, no, I can't.
That's a pretty interesting take as a woman. I mean, I have so many questions about this because as a guy, obviously my take is totally different on DMs.
Spill the stunts. Come on, let's go.
I mean, it really depends. Like you said, of course, if I'm interested, I think most women are smart enough to understand, even if someone's complimenting on your work.
I would like to correct you, not most, all.
Yeah, fair. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, my probably what works for me is that I'm pretty honest, but
Hmm.
I will use subjects that are kind of that would work as smart play.
Uh huh.
So if I'm sliding into DM, which honesty is rare, but if I'm doing that, I would probably see something about her work
Hmm.
or about something about a profile. And
Good.
I would not go straight up to the one going on one knee proposal that this
Huh.
chivalrous man did. What I would probably do would I would use a lot of humor
Oh yeah, humor is
in the
good.
conversation, and I'll try to use and it's a clear pickup line. It's a smooth pickup line, but it would be something to do with something that I find funny.
Huh.
Uh, Ideally, it should be a story because then you're not sliding into DMs, you're replying to a story. So if someone's put up a story which I find something relevant to respond
Hmm.
to it, I would respond to that story.
So you respond to a story which leads to a conversation. Can you give
Yes.
us a blueprint?
In the sense of like an instance of,
Yeah. What's Vikram's way of doing it?
okay, this is not a crash course, but I can give you some real time.
I think our
Real
male audience needs some tips, so go
Sure.
for it.
I mean, like I said, you need to find something that's relevant.
Hmm.
And honestly, I feel like you need to actually believe in what you're saying. Like you need to know what you're saying. It's not like, oh, this is going to work. So I was in Seattle recently. And as you know, it's like the hub of coffee, right? Seattle
Right.
coffee. I mean, you have the best coffee shops in the world in Seattle, and first Starbucks was in Seattle, all of that. So I was in Seattle, and there was a friend of mine, or there was a common friend through whom I followed someone
Mm-hmm.
because I thought she was really interesting. And
Interesting. How?
she was from Croatia. She'd put a lot of stuff up Dubrovnik and all, and I'm a
Okay.
big fan of Croatia. And I just related a lot to her post, and of course, not goes without saying that she was very attractive.
Of
Uh,
course.
so she put up a story in a coffee house,
Hmm.
and I'm generally a sucker for coffee, so I had done my research on the best coffee shops. So I responded to that story saying that you could have picked this XYZ coffee shop instead. This one's all right. I compelled her to respond, and she said, "Why would you pick that particular coffee shop?"
Hmm.
And I said that they have organic coffee beans. So she said, "How is that?" So I could have explained to her how is it organic coffee beans, but I waited for her to ask me back because that you lure her into a
And
conversation.
look how organically you have done that. And you were totally planning on
No, and,
asking her
and
out. Oh my
I obviously
god.
was the truth is that I actually knew how that coffee shop per se, how they get their stuff from farms,
Hmm.
actual farmers. They get the beans, and they make the coffees. They grind the beans in front of you.
So you did all of this mehnat for that
No, not
DM?
mehnat. I'm a sucker for coffee. I knew it, which is
Okay.
what comes back to what
I'll
I said.
believe you.
I said at the beginning, you need to know your facts before you slide into someone with
Like
something
you're
like that.
circling back to all points that you started off with.
No, come on.
Nice.
I'm not some master at it, and I'm pretty sure you've done your bit. So tell me when. I mean, you have slid into someone's DM, right? And I'll tell you what, I think for
Yeah.
women, sliding into DM is not necessarily to do with attraction or how they look.
Hmm.
It could be that you've seen that person's profile for a while. They might be inspiring you in some way, if I'm not mistaken. Or that,
For
like,
sure.
because I have had people slide into my DM because they've seen my work or something related
Yeah.
professionally. So have you slid into someone's DM? And I mean, you have, come on.
Yeah.
And tell me, what was your line, or what was your opening line, or how did you do it?
Okay. So as you rightly pointed out, I was definitely very intrigued about the work that they're doing. It was an acquaintance. I had actually met the person before, but we had no online communication. And it was like a done deal, like, chalo, now this is over. And I was like, I'm in the Gen Z. I should use the power of social media to make things work, right? So even I got to the point, I subtly just messaged, like, thanks, and this was nice, and would you like to go out for lunch? And
Oh, you straight came to the point. This is
yeah,
not subtle by any stretch of imagination.
not subtle. Why not?
So he responded
Of course he
back,
did.
and you guys went for lunch.
Yes, we
And
did.
the rest is history.
The rest is, yeah, let's say history.
Okay, that's another way to put it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it works. Don't beat too much around the bush, but also like don't wait till it's too late.
You
If
know,
you know what I
we
mean.
spoke about love bombing
Yes.
last
If
episode.
y'all have been paying attention.
Yes, and I want to say that I'm a big fan of less is more. So I don't think long messages, big messages work. Though I have to tell you that when I've attempted and I've genuinely liked someone and there's no response,
Huh.
then eventually at some point it's come to a confession that could be a long message. But
Acha.
in general, like less is more, right?
Yeah.
You should not be sending long messages. Like that's not what you want first time someone messages you, right?
Talking about long messages and just like confessing, I recently had this one guy whom I didn't know on Instagram who wrote a song for me, and he put it up as his story, and I woke up to that.
How
And
do you know it was for you? He tagged you.
He tagged me and he messaged me that this is for you, and he also mentioned that this song is for Khushi Tala.
Don't you think that it would have worked better if he slid into your DM with a song? Like, would you want a public confession from someone you
No,
don't know?
but creepy, still creepy. First, get to know me.
First, tell me how was the song?
I don't want to say. I was cringing behind the screen.
And the lyrics, everything.
It was, yeah. Let's just stick to cringe.
Did you block him?
He tried a little too much. If he would have just toned it down a notch.
What is down a notch?
Kana mat likho yaar, first time mein, first get to know me. Probably like 6 months later then. I'm an artist, like I appreciate art. Or like probably send a song, like share a song, and then we can share our views. Or like we can have a conversation about a song, but like don't write the song.
Did he try to reach out to you before this? Like, had he slid into your DM
Yeah.
unsuccessfully? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was his next step.
Thrice.
That's what I'm saying.
It was just like, hey, gone. Hi, gone. How's you? Again, 3
how's
months.
you?
How's you?
That's going straight into
No,
block mode or
just-
something. And then
I didn't block.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like block is
so
a
after
little.
hey hi, how's you, straight full bloody fucking song.
Yeah, go for it. Let's take our chances. And I actually said thank you. That's all I said, and that's where it was.
And then you never spoke to him again.
No, he thought that he could continue the conversation since I've responded. So he was like, "Oh my god, Kushi, you responded! Oh my god, and you made my day."
And then you're like, shit, why did I respond to this?
Yeah.
How many messages is like according to you, like a line in the sand for a man? Like, how many messages should a man repeatedly, how many times should we attempt? When you talk about sliding into DMs, like when we attempt as a woman, like would you respond if someone does it second or third time, or would you be like, that's it?
I think I would like to feel that you don't need me. Like you're interested, You're asking, if it works out, it works out. But don't make me feel that you
Needy?
would be potentially dependent on me.
Yeah, so needy.
Yeah, in a way, but like needy of the fact that you need to something to fill your void.
But sliding into DMs is not the only way for someone to get your attention.
For sure.
So you have your post, liking post, and
Hmm.
I mean, I have a thumb rule, or I don't know who's made it, but I think there is one which goes that there are certain number of likes on a post that you should
Yeah.
there should be certain number of posts only that you should like, especially when you're just following someone.
How many?
I would say two is right. Like if you're liking two posts or two reels of that person, because you don't want a notification, like you don't want a series of
Right.
notifications from the same guy and you're like, hello, I made a
Okay.
mistake accepting a request.
Because if you're newly following somebody, Instagram by default, following the algorithm, they will display the top two posts. So it's like, huh, I am liking your post, even though this is a Purana post. I am acknowledging, but I'm not, taking out the time to open your profile, even though you are doing that and liking like a series of
Yeah.
posts. Yeah.
So does that turn you off?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be stalked. Like, okay, I've got like 145 posts. Matlab, yeah, I think this isn't too much of
No, it's
attention.
not about stalked. It's about making it too obvious to the person
Yeah.
right at the beginning as well.
I think that curiosity is something that I enjoy. Like, let them know that you're interested, but like, don't go all out. Just let it be um, a, a, a little mysterious.
What about comments on reels? Do
Comments
you
on
read
reels.
people who comment? I mean, come on. I think your some of your reels have gone viral,
Uh-huh.
quite a few.
Uh-huh.
Even if it's work related,
Hmm.
professionally as well. So, do you read the comments,
Of
and
course I
do
do.
you look at them in the sense of maybe they're trying to make a smooth move there, or is it just like okay, whatever, someone's written something nice? You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's literally a replacement for sliding into DMs.
I think that is true. It is something that will want to grab your attention.
Also, people with a lot of followers
Huh.
tend to not check their DMs.
I think everybody checks.
Oh, I don't know this. Yeah, maybe you would know better
I
because
think
I know
everybody checks. Everybody knows what's going on. They just
pretend like they're
act
not.
indifferent. Yeah. Everybody. I think everybody checks.
But talking about followers, do you see that? Like, do you like?
Oh,
Because I think
definitely.
that it's ironical that of course women have open profiles, tons of
Hmm.
followers,
Hmm.
and of course
Hmm.
women tend to have more followers,
Hmm.
but they prefer men who have less followers or follow less people. Do you follow? Do you observe any of that when you meet someone interesting or new, or someone is?
I think definitely the follower and the following ratio is something that I would look at.
Me too. Plus one.
Plus one. Okay,
Yeah.
I think so. This goes for the men as well,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I've never actually asked anyone this, but I do that. I do check if the woman is following more people than who are following her. In general, it's not again in judgmental, but in the sense of like, oh, she's following way too many people, and I mean, I don't know. It's like I said, less is more in every sense for
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
So I definitely do see that.
Right. And if you have to also add in the ratio of the number of posts that are
I've
on
actually
the
never
profile.
guess. I've never considered that. Do you do
Yeah.
that? Do you consider?
Oh, for sure. Guys with zero posts,
You like that?
I don't like that. Too Okay, I did say that I like mystery, but I don't want them to be
Yeah. So you don't want
creepy.
to be completely a
Yeah.
stranger.
Yeah. Then I feel like they like things private. And when I say that they like things private, that means it's going to be very filtered with me also.
Okay. So,
They will show me the parts that they want to show or they want to disclose about their life.
but what if they are authentically that? What if they authentically? I do know people like that. I have friends who are extremely private guys. Of
Hmm.
course, girls there are, on
Hmm.
social media, there are a lot of them who are very private, but there are guys as well who absolutely don't like to post. What if that's authentically that guy? I mean, would you have a problem with that?
I think you bring in a fair point. I don't want to generalize it, but based on the kind of experiences that I've had, it's a little hard to believe what you're saying. Maybe in time, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can even be catfished.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And even their display picture,
Bot accounts.
I don't think they're showing their face. Either their phone is blocking their face, or they are uh, showing their back to the camera.
What's wrong with showing back to the camera?
Yeah, but like zero posts, and then I can't see how you are.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
No, but in general, like, I think having a subtle picture is cool. I've read
Yeah.
somewhere, and this
Hmm.
is, I mean, it's not good news for me, but I've read somewhere that a lot of women, they actually don't like guys with posts or pictures with their sunglasses.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah. In fact, like, display picture with sunglasses.
Okay, display picture with
Yeah.
sunglasses.
And also because you can't see his actual
His
face, his eyes.
eyes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
eyes.
Eyes do a lot of talking,
Yeah.
man.
I think you guys observe things about a man in a picture a lot more than we do. Like, I don't think men check.
I don't want
With
to
men,
go
it's
there.
more like
things we see are
with
different.
with us,
Things that they see are different.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
for us, it's like, oh my god, she's hot, sharing with my best friend. Oh my god, she's hot, sharing with my best friend. That's probably how my friends do. They end up sending me pictures, and I'm like, we are not going to see. And I've seen women actually tell me, this guy's shoes, this guy's eyes. Oh, he's pouting too much. Oh, that's too
Okay.
posy. I don't think men care about that. It's like, oh, she's hot. That's it.
That's it. Jump right to it. But I think when we were talking about display pictures, if there is a subtle, revelation of how they look,
Yeah.
I think that I would like to associate their face when they're messaging me. Like, okay, this is the person
good point.
behind the screen.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. Then I don't know who's going to show up.
Yeah, true.
You know.
So I'm opening up all a can of worms of how boys do it. I mean, you guys also share,
You will
right?
be getting a lot of messages after this episode. Just by the way, be ready. A lot of DMs
Sliding
waiting
into
for you.
DMs
Yeah.
about coffees. Coffees and Croatia.
Yeah, now you've given them what.
No, come on. Tell
Huh.
me, you guys also, of course, share pictures or like, I mean, a lot more than we do. We do it more for random stuff, like something of Kylie Jenner. We'll be like, oh, you saw this one about.
We
But-
should get this lipstick.
Yeah, you guys do that kind of stuff, right?
That's what you guys do.
What would we do? We would be like, wow, she's hot. Have you seen her? And I'll be like, no, her sister is hotter. Something like that.
Y'all would. Okay. I don't want to get that.
So when it comes to you guys sharing, girls sharing posts and reels or whatever
Yeah.
of someone you like
Huh.
or you're crushing,
Hmm.
I mean, how does that work? How often do you do? And do you share with your friends, like, of this
I
guy,
think
if he has some
yes.
post? Of course, you said many guys don't have, but
Yeah.
if they have post, would you first go and show a friend?
Definitely, yeah. Okay, so I've got my best friends who do a potential boyfriend analysis, and I will show them posts, or I will send them posts in which the person I'm interested in is doing something that he is passionate about.
Okay, and what if they like it by mistake?
Oh yeah, that is so scary because
That's like your worst nightmare, right?
Yeah, because we tend to just like the post or like the message that you get, and
No,
I-
not
I
10,
ca-
like open it and accidentally like it.
accidentally like it, and then they're gonna get a notification. I think, but friends screw things up for you also. They will give you the best advice, but they'll screw things up for you
So
also.
the most common thing that happens when we talk about it is
Hmm.
like, don't like it. We say it to each other. Okay, open it,
You're
don't
like,
like it.
Eh,
Yeah, you're specific.
eh.
It's like a statutory warning. Don't like
Okay.
this.
Don't like this.
But also sometimes you just show your screen and show them the person instead of, when you don't trust your friend,
Yeah.
that friend you can't
Don't
trust.
touch my phone.
Yeah, don't touch it. Just
सिर्फ
see it.
आँखों से. Well, but then what is the usual response that you get? Are they like, she's not so hot?
Men don't do, she's not so hot.
Okay, but because I get that a lot. Their first response will be like really cushy, and then I'll try to sell. Be like, but no, it's not about the looks. See what he's doing.
Okay, so just so you know how it
Hmm.
works with men, is usually it's not so much about, oh, she's not so hot. It's only probably, no, she's not my type.
Acha.
In the sense, I mean, firstly, let's be honest, like social media is full of so many good looking people in terms of appearance, at least on social media, right? Attractive people. So it never is a part where we criticize someone in the sense that I don't think she's good looking. I think with men that doesn't happen much. It's more like whether, oh, she's my type or she's not. I think and at least with my friends, what I've seen, single friends, of course, just to reiterate, it's more
Are
like
you sure?
100%. But yeah, yeah, all the boys married, they're
I
boring
will
now.
agree to
Yeah.
disagree.
No, the boring boys are just like, I mean, not sorry, not the married boys. The married
I
boys are
like how you said it, Mr. Wedding Planner.
the married boys are only sharing like stories of something Virat Kohli did,
Acha.
or something that's coming up, or something about what's wrong in the world, which is fun, by the way. But then you have that one category of friends with whom we are
Yeah.
only talking about like shit posting that's going on.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought of that before. For me, social media is a form of expression. So usually when I post something, it's a lot to do with my state of mind. Definitely with my stories.
All
If
right.
I'm putting something on stories, it's to do with like a quote or
Right.
work related or whatever. But if you ask me, in the sense of dating or in terms of if I'm putting a post for someone to see or any of that, I mean, I don't know. It's for me. It's how I feel at that very moment, or what I feel was due for, in the sense like if I'm on a holiday, like you know what I'm saying. Like this whole thing has started of dumping stuff. September dump, August dump,
Yeah.
May dump. I
Yeah.
don't do that, but for me, it's like this part of my life was amazing, and I want to put it out there. So,
And I think you also said for someone to see. Do you post for that certain someone?
oh come on, everyone posts for people,
Everyone
right?
posts for that
Everyone
certain
is
someone.
posting for someone's attention
Uh-huh.
at some point.
Right.
And I'm sure there are times when we are in really good space and you don't really
Hmm.
care a damn of who's
Hmm.
seeing, but there are most cases you would be vying one or two people's attention, particular
Yeah. Orbiting.
orbiting,
Oh
right,
my
right.
god.
Shit, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding. But I would say, I think stories, for me, stories is where I would probably may have put up for uh, garnering someone's attention.
Right.
I don't do it on my posts. I rarely do it.
Asha.
Uh, and I'm generally, I think it's a professional hazard, but I'm very occupational hazard. But I think I'm very observant of who likes what in general, and it's not like I pay attention to it. It's just I know.
Right.
I know who generally would like my post. I know who generally wouldn't care. So that's just a, I don't know how to say, surface level understanding of it.
Correct.
But stories, yeah, if there's someone particular, I would be like, okay, has she seen it or not? At
Hmm.
some point, only if I'm interested in the person.
I would like to dive into one thing that crossed my mind. Also, because your posts will stay up on the wall for a much longer duration unless you decide to
Yeah,
take them down.
yeah,
But stories are 24
exactly. So
hours.
for
Yeah.
me, post is more a generic thing that I want out there for
Right.
longer. Stories probably relevant to that particular moment, how I'm feeling. Uh, what about you? And what about reels as well? I mean, I'm not someone who uses reels a lot, but do people do that? Do women actually put up stuff for attention of a particular person or people?
I think I have most definitely in the past put up stories for a certain somebody to reply, but I like to keep my posts and my reels for my work. So I use Instagram or Facebook for a lot of my work because I get a lot of work from there. So it's kind of a very risky little game because my work is also is right there and I don't want to mix it with okay, for example, if I'm replying to people on a post or on a reel that I've posted, I'll have my friends who will support me. I'll have uh, people in uh, I'll have people from the industry who are commenting. And then I have to sometimes draw the line with respect to how I'm responding.
That's a very interesting thing.
You
I
know?
never thought of this,
Yeah.
but that's probably a drawback you may experience because you're having a lot of your work on your profile.
Right.
And if you see my profile on Instagram,
Huh.
guys, don't go and follow right now. If you go and see my
No.
profile on Instagram, it's completely personal, and I keep my work separate.
And you did
I,
that again. You're compelling them to go and check out your
no, no, not
Instagram.
really.
You're playing
I'm
with
not
your
a. So
subconscious. Whoa.
I'm very conscious of the fact that I try to do very little. I try to express very little of my work on my profile.
Vikram Mehta, less is more.
No, this is more to do with my peace of mind,
Okay.
and I try not to mix my work profile and my personal profile. So
But you don't have two profiles, do you?
no, I mean my work account,
Aha.
my company page is different, but a lot of people in my industry
Hmm.
use the same thing.
Right.
So if they are
Yeah.
going on a holiday, they're putting a story and next stories of a bride. So I try to keep them two separate. But yeah, I do end up having all kinds of people slide into DMs because of that.
Right.
Someone asking for a job and someone admiring our work and some dholwala wanting to talk to me and someone sliding into DM because she thinks like we should go on a date. So yeah, and I
Ooh.
don't. I think we need to filter that out. Like
Yeah.
that's a different topic altogether. But I'm not a big fan of mixing professional and personal. So I've told you how I feel about this, like expressing, using posts as a way of expression.
Huh.
What about you? What do you post usually, or what is your thought behind a post or a reel?
I think, yeah, in the initial stages of dating, especially in the contemporary times, because I feel like people are always at a loss of words. People don't know how to communicate. I think for you, conversations might be a lot more richer. But right now, because conversations tend to be so shallow that you find things as tools to, build up your conversations, which could be your stories that, you put things out there so that people respond to you, as you rightly said prior in the episode. It could also be reels, like, using tool like reels or post as tools to get your conversation going.
Yeah.
I think that is a very important stage on social media that defines modern dating.
It's so funny that it's so actually widespread that I know one, like it happened to me recently where I put up some workout pictures and
Okay.
most of my friends, girls, responded
Hmm.
to it saying thirst trap, thirst trap, thirst trap, thirsty. I'm like, what? And I didn't even think of it. For me, it was
Right.
like a form of expression that, okay, I had a good
Hmm.
workout after really long and like I'm progressing to like whatever my, goal is with my health, fitness. And a lot of people thought that, oh, that's another thirst trap because they are so familiar with that, or they're so used to people
Hmm.
doing that, right? For validation.
But well, it's a win-win, right? Did you get any DMs after that
I
picture?
did, but I didn't
Not
think
from your
of,
friends.
I did not think of that before.
Hmm.
And of course, after that, I was like, okay, is it really a thirst trap? Because that was not my
Oh,
intention.
I want to jump into the analysis of what the viewer thinks or what the person posting is thinking while posting.
Okay,
That's like like becoming a detective next level.
you should do a poll on this.
We should.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, how would this person want me to respond to this? इसने इसके वजह से डाला, like the thirst trap that your friends thought.
Yeah. But do you do that often?
I don't think so. I would say previously, yes. But I think I wouldn't say I'm too old. I'm 21, but with the years passing, I think I'm getting to accept the fact that acceptance needs to come from within.
21 today is way more wiser than 21 in our days.
Well, thank you.
Back in our time, like I think when we were 21 was like when we probably started talking to girls or started dating girls, sorry, rather openly. And now like everyone has an iPad when they're teenagers,
That's right.
right? A 13-year-old has an iPad and the life, I mean, everything changes
And I
pretty
think
quickly.
one thing,
So you evolve a lot faster than when we evolved.
absolutely, because I think we have social media also to thank
Exactly.
for this,
Of course.
for
Yeah.
the kind of accessibility that you get. You are throwing yourself into more kind of experiences for you to learn while you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, like back in the day for you, if you had to reach out to a person to express how you feel about them, it would be so much more different than how it is today.
Completely different.
Yeah.
And I mean, like for instance, if I'm talking to them now, if I don't add an emoji, they'll think I'm not happy, I'm not interested.
Oh
Back in the day,
yeah.
we didn't have emojis. Back in the day, we would do more calls. I mean,
Right.
so much, right? I mean, sharing stuff online, having close friends, for instance, right? So you're having a private,
Ooh.
within an Instagram account, you
Yeah.
have a private account, like
Hmm,
literally, right?
hmm,
It's
hmm,
like,
hmm.
I've heard about someone
Okay.
vlogging, like literally vlogging her dating life only for her close friends. That's all pretty interesting, right? People come up with such innovations.
And I think people who are behind the screen also get validated in some way. Ki chalo, I'm on this person's close friend list.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah. Maybe I'm special.
That's true. That probably is happening.
But you don't know who else is on the close friend list.
If that person is someone who's important for me, I would think about it. That I wouldn't care about it.
You won't care? Okay,
No.
I'll tell you something. My close friend list changes with what I want to share on social media. If I'm putting something up specifically for my close friends, it depends on what I'm putting up.
So like, I don't have a close friends list, to be honest.
Hmm.
I just think it's too much effort, or maybe I'm just old school. I catch on things very late. But what? How does that work? Like, do you click on the person, or do you make a like? Is there a separate group?
There is a separate section on the stories area where you
Yeah.
can just make a list
So
for
you
yourself.
change the list every day.
Not every
That's
day,
a lot
but
of effort.
if I mean, yeah. if there is something specifically for that someone, I have done things where I've only put one person on that close friend list.
Amazing.
So that I don't have to like directly send it on the DM.
What if that close friend, that one person? See, now
I'm not
that's coming
I'm
back to
not
validation. That's pure validation.
no,
What is
compelling
that?
them to respond what you did. It's just another
No,
stunt
mine
that
is
I've
about pure
pulled.
coffee beans.
Acha.
No, one
Yeah,
second. But
sure,
when
Vikram.
you put them on, close friends,
Hmm.
they are not getting it in the DM, right?
But my story will compel them to respond, no? My stories are also pretty.
But you're putting it up as a story, and it's only that one. If they see the story,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but only one person is getting to see it,
Huh.
and you're saying that's not validation.
I mean,
We
they
should take an
don't.
audience poll on this.
They don't know that that person is the only person on
That
my
is
list.
exactly what validation is. I mean, you're trying to draw their attention, and you don't care about
Draw
everyone
their
else's.
attention.
Okay, how different is validation when you're in a relationship? I'm sure there are stages, right, in relationship as well, on social
Right.
media, and especially today's world. What are the stages, firstly, and how different is validation when you are with a partner?
I think the way you post changes.
That's a very, very, very good point.
Yes.
And what you put up on stories changes.
Changes.
Everything changes.
Yes, it does change. You get more mindful of the things that you're liking
Is
also.
it mindful of you that you don't give a damn about anyone else, what anyone is seeing?
That also. And then you also start thinking, ki, what is my partner going to perceive?
नहीं, लेकिन इसके stages बता मुझे. What are the stages? Like, you start with the DM, like my coffee
हाँ.
story. You start with
हाँ.
the story, right?
Chalo,
Or
हाँ.
the poem, or whatever,
Y'all
the
get
song.
going on the DMs.
Yeah.
Then y'all start using reels as a form of communication.
I think you start with DMs.
Huh.
And then, of course, you start chatting a bit.
Yeah, chatting, and then
Then probably phone number.
no, I think you do reels first.
No, I think.
Then you start commenting,
Okay,
and then just
I'm
get
a big
familiar.
fan of reels, and I feel reels is a form of love language. And I think reels is a form of love language even with your friends.
That's right.
Yeah. In fact, not just with them, even with my own staff. Like,
Huh.
when there are work memes or reels which are
Yeah.
related to work, or them not showing up, or them having a shitty
Right.
day, or them bitching about me, I will be like sharing it with them.
Yeah.
Or they'll be sharing it with me, saying, boss, like,
I think it's a good
Yeah, so-
icebreaker.
no, I think it's not an icebreaker. I think it's
or just like a tool that brings people closer without having to
yeah, it's a love
have that conversation.
and
of
I have to
getting
tell
close.
you, like,
Oh yeah, I
I-
just defined love language.
I'm not very necessarily receptive to every change that happens in the world as a millennial now, moving forward. Like, every day some new stuff coming in, but I'm a big fan of reels. I mean, I don't know if Mark Zuckerberg also thought of that when he starts with reels, wherever he got that idea from, when he starts with reels, I'm not sure he even knew that this is going to be a love language. It is a love language. It's literally you wanting to tell your partner how much you love them or how much you care for them without stating it by sharing a reel which is really cute. I know people
That's
doing stuff
right.
like sharing reels about like making coffee together or something funny about
Yes.
the partner who has a habit of snoring.
Hmm.
Or like I saw some really funny ones about someone sitting in a car, and when his wife sits, he like, don't marry, don't marry. And then he sits on the other side and he's like,
Yes.
I'm good, I'm
Yeah,
good. And
yeah,
I was just
yeah.
checking the tires.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think it's all so funny and it's all a
Yes.
form of love language.
That's true.
So
And you know what? I think millennials like it more than the Gen Z do right now.
yeah, we are not supposed to say that, but yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Can I?
It's like an old uncle getting excited
I
when
have
he
to
sees
tell
something. Oh
you.
my God, this is like a new
Yes,
toy.
because Khushi Tella is the only person who has to post about what she does on social media. So my family feels okay. No, we want to support, and they're so cute. They have actually made accounts on Instagram just to support me. So my mama, my nani, they are on Instagram and they'll send me reels.
What's the protocol for family on social media? Look, fortunately for me, no one who's close to me from my family is on. So, what's the protocol? I know some girls who try to. I mean, some who block their moms and dads and they laugh about it,
Hmm.
and some who are like, "Oh my God, my Masi likes every picture of mine."
I think I'm pretty transparent that way. I feel like what it is just like accept me for what it is. Yeah, I don't think I've ever consciously made the effort of hiding my family members.
But they are not on your close friends.
Obviously not. Now you got it. But Vikram, I have a question for you. We have spoken so much about people who are single or are potentially in a relationship. What about the people who have been in a relationship? I think social media can be a very gray area for them to operate, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, risky business in the
Risky
sense. Yeah,
business. Like things that you're liking, sorry, people you are following.
yeah. I mean, the faux pas, right?
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, we can start with password sharing.
password sharing.
I know people who do that.
Yes.
I've also heard of someone who has their partner's account on their phone.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure many people have that.
But so I have these two friends. The couple is my friend. So I think I treat them as one person because when I'm
Wow.
making plans, it's like I don't know whom to message. Should I message the girl or the guy? Because then I don't want to be this person who causes a fight between the two.
Do they have a common account as well? By the way, that
They
happens
don't
as well.
need a common account. Both have each other's account on each other's phone. So it's like if I'm asking so I'll message one
You don't know
person
who's replying.
and I'll call the other person. And then the other person will be like, yeah, I read your message on the other person's phone account. You know what I've
Yes.
established?
But do you think everyone's comfortable with this concept?
No, yeah. Come on. Privacy. I don't think so. I think it would, at least for myself, I would need significant amount of time.
And space.
Significant amount of time to trust the other person, to let that person into my social space.
No, but also space from the person, right? I'm not going to share my password with my girlfriend.
Oh, so you're certain on that.
100%.
Okay. I mean, sharing the password, if it comes from a place of insecurity, then maybe no. If there's a lack of trust, then maybe no.
I'm
But
open
if
to the
you're
idea
being
of.
if you're being open and just revealing yourself authentically and not having to hide anything.
I don't know how many. I mean, with generational change, also, I think there
Hmm.
has to be some boundaries or space that
Right.
belong to you. And I think they should not be crossed. So for me, her asking for my password or logging in, and it's happened in
Huh.
the past.
Huh.
It's happened in the past. I don't have a problem because there's nothing which I would worry about if I have
Right.
a girlfriend to show her. I just think
Hmm.
that that's a massive green flag for me.
But it also depends on what kind of weightage social media holds for your generation.
No, it's irrelevant because the idea is that in a relationship, you should have that enough trust and space and boundary given to each other
Definitely. I,
that
I
it
agree.
doesn't matter.
I agree. But like for a millennial, if you compare it with a Gen Z, I think social media is way more important to, to a Gen Z as compared to a millennial.
Not necessary again. I think everyone's equally on Instagram, on social media rather, not just Instagram. I think everyone is using it. Maybe the reason they use it is different. A 35-year-old man or woman would use it differently than a 20-year-old.
Exactly. So what is that different?
I mean, someone might use it professionally, someone might use it, yes.
Exactly. So Gen Z people will try to like, um with respect to romance, use social media more.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so that is what I
Yeah.
meant when I said,
In a relationship,
yeah, in a
probably they
relationship.
use. But again, I mean, for me, it's. I mean, I don't know how it works for you, but for me, password is a
Oh no,
no go.
okay.
But I mean, it's very, like you said, it's the right word you used was gray area.
Yeah.
So what about stuff like, if you're following, like, who are you following? Whose pictures are you liking?
As you rightly pointed out boundaries, I think at least with the Gen Z, people are willing to change for their partners. They violate their own non negotiables, even when it comes to social media.
But that's a lot to do with vulnerability of at that
Exactly.
age, or because you're
Exactly.
not had enough experience.
Yeah.
And when you start, you laugh at yourself for what all you did. So I
That's
think
true.
that's all part of growing up. But I do agree with you. I'm not denying that does
Yeah.
exist. But I mean, there's some things which you should still kind of, for me, that's still I mean, that's actually a debatable thing. Stuff like liking pictures of others. I know people fight about it. I know couples fight about, you like this one's picture,
Hmm.
or you followed this one, you don't know her,
Right.
that kind of stuff. What's your take on it?
Intent matters, right?
How would you know the intent? Would you ask your partner, what is your intent? Why did you follow her? Why did you?
Definitely. Try to be open about it, communicate about it. But I think ये point of discussion होता ही इसलिए because subconsciously again you're insecure. You have that in you. Like, why does my partner feel the need to go and talk to this person? Or even if it's not talk, if you're following, be up to date with somebody. I think social media also gets personal, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
would you think this is gray area, or would you think for you, someone probing you these questions would be a complete a deal breaker? Would you kind of not accept it at all?
I think I will entertain it if I'm willing to get into something deep and meaningful with a person. But having to explain all the time is a no go for me.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Though in my case, I think intent. I
Intent.
have had a situation where uh, I shared someone's birthday story, and
Hmm.
she was a friend of mine and a very beautiful girl, and I was seeing someone, and she went and obviously stalked her,
Huh.
and that woman is kind of an influencer, and she had a lot of pictures in bikinis and stuff, and I
Right.
liked everything, and I'd commented on a
Mm.
couple of them, and she came back and obviously grilled me,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I had to clear the intent. I
Right.
told her first, like, the honest truth, that she's a friend. She's genuinely a friend.
Hmm.
And she's such a good friend that she'll send me the pictures to say, pick one of these three. But I went
What
back.
did your partner say when she sent
No, I
you?
told her the truth, honest truth. And then it reached a
Is
point
it
where,
also applicable to the bikini pictures?
yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, I mean, what happened was,
Hmm.
that person is a friend who's looking for hits, a lot of hits. Most of her posts are clickbaits because that's related to her profession, because she's making money through it. So for me, she was like, hey, which one do you think will work better?
Right.
But the funny part is, I went back to my friend
Hmm.
whose pictures it was, and I said, yo, listen, man, like, you put me in a real soup here.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do?
What do I do? Acha, you put me in the spot, you get me
No,
out
no,
of
no.
it.
I asked her, what do you think of that? Like,
And what did she
she's
say?
pissed off, and she's like, she said, I would also be pissed off. And that, I'm like,
Don't
wow.
tell me you thought of
No,
dating this other
I
person
was
and
like,
thinking of leaving.
this is a real team up, because
Okay.
what I realized from that was, women think similarly on this. And I got a good perspective. I asked her, why would you not be okay with that? And she said, I'm not okay if my partner was liking every picture of someone which has like bikini pictures and all. So I think it's a very, like I said, it's a gray area.
It's a gray area.
But once it was established, this person's a friend. I have nothing for her. I think it doesn't matter. Sometimes I'm liking it because she's a friend. I want to give her hits.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
mattering. Every like matters to
Everyone,
her.
yeah.
But I think when we go into stuff like following, who are you following? It's like really intruding. And I think more than
Yeah.
intrusive, I think you are not trusting your partner.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to deny that I have been that person too who's affected. Like I have been curious to know, like, who does she follow? Like, is it strangers? Is it people she likes? But I think people do follow people for many reasons. You could follow someone
Yes.
not because you're attracted, but you think he's super funny. So Kushi, just to end the episode, closing thoughts. After all the torture you've gone through in your teens, courtesy us guys. So if you had to pick social media or boyfriend, hypothetically,
I have to pick one.
one.
And you know how much my work depends on social media.
I'm just asking, social media or boyfriend? You have to pick one.
Can you answer first?
So you're gonna answer after I answer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Social media.
Okay. Fair.
What about you?
Guys, thank you for tuning into yet
What the
another episode of Gibberish. We'll see you next time.
See you guys. Thank you so much.